You're listening to my mom
on the Mommy's Home Office Show.
Okay, Mom, yes, your turn. Love you. Yeah, push mommy up.
Aw, thanks, guys. Now go play so I can record this. Welcome to the Mommy's Home Office podcast, where I pull back the curtains and talk about the realities of starting and running a successful online business from home. I'm your host, Nicole Wynn. Let's do this. Hello. I'm so excited you're here today because we have a special guest with us. Her name is Sarah Siems, and she is the brilliant and beautiful mind behind fitstyled.com, where she brings personal training into your home virtually, and she's also the author of Cooking Without a Kitchen. And bonus, she is my neighbor. She lives down the street from me. So I am excited to introduce you guys to one of my favorite mom bosses. Welcome to the show, Sarah. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. I couldn't wait. When I heard that there was another work-at-home mom in the neighborhood, but not just a work-at-home mom, but an actual, another online business owner, I was super excited because it's this special little world and nobody really understands it unless you are in it. I mean, I don't even think my husband totally understands it.
Yeah.
So when you came to the neighborhood and we started talking and you said you had a YouTube channel and that you've written a book, a cookbook, I was so stoked, and I knew I had to have you on the podcast. So tell us how you got started in this online business journey.
Oh, man. Okay. So I started doing YouTube as a hobby in college, and the name Fit Styled started because I liked fitness and I liked style. And the first video I ever did was doing a sorority sister's hair. And that's because I had done her hair before an event. And a lot of people asked me how I did it. Mm-hmm. And rather than showing 100 girls individually, I was like, I'll just put up a video. And then I needed to come up with a name. So I just made Fit Style at the time, which ended up being trademarked later, which is why the D added at
So
the
wait,
end.
how did that happen? How did you find that out?
Because at that point, well, not at that point, but after I started making videos and enjoyed making them, I wanted to make more fitness videos. Mm-hmm. And this was kind of pre-Tone It Up, if you know Tone It Up. And so I was like, I want to basically do that and have workout videos online and stuff. So then I wanted to trademark the name, and that's when we found out Gillette had it. But after making videos in college with workout videos and cooking videos, I graduated, but I was already working at Cooper Fitness Center in Dallas, which is Dr. Cooper is the man who coined the term aerobics.
Yeah, he's super famous.
Yeah. So that was my first job in the fitness industry, was working at Cooper. And then I got my national certification for personal training, and then started training at a country club in Dallas. And all the while I still loved doing YouTube videos, but I kind of got some weird comments sometimes. And,
like what? Like, what do you mean?
Stalkery comments. So I stopped doing YouTube for a while, and I was like, I still want to train people and I want to do it online, but I also know that working at a country club, while nice, is not really a sustainable lifestyle for family life.
Right.
So people want to train in person before they go to work or after they go to work, for the most part.
Or on the weekends, right?
Or on the weekends, yeah. So times that I don't want to be at work.
Right.
So, and I was picturing my life down the road. I was like, when I do have a baby someday, I don't want to be waking up at 4 a.m. to go to work. And because I'll already be up at 4 a.m.
Yeah. And you will not be wanting to work, I promise.
Exactly. So anyway, that's when I started the online personal training through my website. Mm-hmm. So I started doing that while I was still personal training at a country club. And then once I made enough, I quit the country club.
I love that model of starting while you still have something going, and then leaving once you know it's sustainable and that it is actually has legs and it's going to work.
Yes. And it was great because my lifestyle improved so much. I wasn't getting up at 4 a.m. anymore. I could see my husband. I was still a newlywed for the most part. And then I we got to travel the world and I could still work. And now I have my son and I could still work.
I know. Isn't that nice? That's my favorite part about it, is that as long as I have an internet connection and a computer, yes, I'm good. I don't even have to have my computer. A lot of it can be done from my phone now. So it's really been nice. So when you decided to do this, and you said Gillette has it, as in like Gillette razors?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. They have Fit Style.
Okay. Okay. And so did you get to trademark Fit Styled?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, cool. I am still, well, I had started the trademark process for Mommy's Home Office, and everything got started, and then everything kind of went on hold for a little bit.
It takes a long time.
Yes, it does. It's like a long process. They told me it could take up to a year, maybe a little longer, depending on what it is and what's going on. So we're still like in this limbo stage, but it's okay. I'm putting it out there to the universe that nobody else is going to try to use my name and try to make a big, huge brand out of it before it's mine. So. Okay, so you had your business before you had your baby. Now, what did pre-baby days look like for you?
I would wake up at not 4 a.m.,
right,
like at a more civilized hour, and work out myself. And then I would start going into the messaging system of my website and start checking in on clients. And if I had any new clients, I would be making their plans. And every time I make a plan for somebody, I start by talking to them first and, figuring out what their goals are, what they need, what their schedule is, because it can just vary so much. I mean, a lot of my clients are moms and they need workouts they can do during nap time. But I also had a bunch of like executives who were traveling and they needed something that they could do in a hotel gym, or maybe just even the hotel room, not even going to the gym.
Right.
We've done airport workouts.
Oh, wow.
I have had people go to the handicap stall with their carry-on bag and do like squat overhead presses with them.
These people are committed, man.
Yes.
Now, that was pre-baby. You would go in and check the messaging system, and basically, how many hours do you think you would work pre-baby?
Each day, honestly, well, actual work and not just entrepreneur work where you're working all day, so to speak, but like actual sitting in front of my computer, getting things done, really just a few hours every day. That's all I needed to keep it afloat.
Okay. But then you're right. There's a lot of entrepreneur work that goes behind the scenes, like the marketing and all of the social and all of the coming up with new content and new workouts and
Exactly.
Okay. So now fast forward, you have a baby. He is 1.
Yes.
He is the cutest thing ever. His name is Henry, and he is so cute and chunky and just like adorable. But when he came along, what did that look like for you? How did you work out maternity and working with a baby?
Well, this was probably my biggest mistake in that I never took a formal maternity leave. And I thought, and I mean, my expectations were just wrong. So I thought,
how do you mean?
because before baby, I could travel. I did all these things. I only worked a few hours a day. I was like, it'll be fine. I'll just, check in on my clients, tweak plans as needed. Maybe I won't take anyone on in the meantime, just for a few months, but I'll work with who I have. And I mean, what's the problem? And then
I should be
motherhood.
Able to keep up.
Yeah, like it'll be fine. And my mom is such a boss. Like she has 24-hour call and she still raised us. And it just, I was like, oh, it'll be no problem.
So your mom's a doctor though, to be, okay.
Yeah, to add that in. Yeah. But yeah, growing up with that, I was like, it should be fine. And then motherhood and sleep deprivation hits you like a bag of bricks. And there were some clients I didn't even tell I was pregnant, because if I had like some older clients, they maybe didn't check social media. They didn't see any like bump pictures or anything. So I just kept on like like nothing had happened. And for the most part, it was okay. But it was really hard, even just trying to find any window of time where you could give clients what they needed. And I did it, but not without being like, what have I done?
Well, when you have your first baby, it's so scary because it's not scary. Well, it is scary, but it's so overwhelming. As much as I don't like that word, it's overwhelming because you don't know what you don't know, and you have no idea what you're doing, and you don't realize how badly you're going to be impacted, your lifestyle and your health and your mental well-being.
Yeah.
And yes, you have this amazing baby and this wonderful bundle of joy that is amazing.
Yes.
However, your whole life and identity has changed in that moment.
Yes. Yes, exactly. It's just, and because I had been working for myself prior to his birth, I was used to this high level of productivity that was no longer happening. So when suddenly you can't keep up with it, it's like, what has happened? But
well, at the same time, did you feel like everything you had worked for was just going down the drain?
Well, yes and no. No, in the sense that I was able to keep up with them, even though it was really hard. But he was born in January. And for a trainer, that's the most popular time to be a trainer.
Yeah.
That's when everyone wants to sign up, New Year's resolutions. It's a busy time. So that was definitely hard because I was turning down some new clients, which in the past, like, pre-baby me would have been like, what are you doing?
Yeah. You can do this. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be fine. But yeah, so I had to turn down a few people, but I was like, it's going to be totally manageable with who I have. And so then for a few weeks, I carried on. And then I took a few weeks off. I took like 4 weeks where I sent messages to people, and luckily there weren't really any tweaks I had to do to their plans.
Good.
That was great. And I could just focus on recovering and everything like that. But then I wrote a cookbook.
Because why not?
Because why not? I finished the cookbook before he was not even 4 months. He hadn't turned 4 months yet. So I wrote a cookbook and planned a vacation and went on a vacation. As soon as the book was done, we left.
How funny. Yeah, that sounds about right. Because, for people who are have high productivity levels, let me say that again. For people who have high productivity levels, having the baby like there all the time, your energy may be zapped and everything like that. But it also kind of gives you this flood of a little bit of like, ooh, I could do this, because you have space. You have a little more space away from the busy back end of the business. And you're like, oh, I could do this and I could do that.
And the book was something I had been wanting to write, honestly, for, probably 10 years. Because it's called Cooking Without a Kitchen. And I went to a boarding high school and then college. So I had 8 years of not having a kitchen. And then all the traveling we did, also no kitchen. So It was something I was really, really wanting to write. And we finished it. I finished it before May. Or before late May. And that was really important to me because I knew people would be graduating, and I wanted it to be a graduation gift.
Awesome. So what did the book writing process look like for you? A bunch of like recipe testing and...
A lot of recipe testing, and a lot of them were recipes that I had been doing in my dorms. So there were those, but then ones that we've just done along the way, things we've eaten while traveling, and then coming up with some new ones, testing those, and then making all of those, taking photos of them.
That's the hardest part.
That was the hardest part. Yep. And then my husband helped me with the photography for it.
Okay.
And I made it through Amazon and Kindle. So they can just put it up on Amazon. It's an ebook and paperback form. So that was convenient. It was a really easy way to write a book, so to speak. But the process of writing it looked a lot like me on the couch nursing a baby and typing.
Yes. Oh, wow. Okay. Nursing and typing. Good for you. Did you have like a special little setup thing that you had?
I had a nursing pillow that I'm practically evangelical about.
Really?
Yes. And
which one?
I don't even know if it's on the market anymore, but if you can find it, anyone who's listening, Google Infantino elevated nursing pillow. It's sort of like, it all folds up, but it opens up like a book. And so if you were to turn the pages higher on one side, that's where baby's head can go. And it was kind of contoured to your body a little bit. And I ordered it when he was probably about a few days old, desperately at like 4 a.m. on my phone on Amazon.
That's a lot of purchases happen that way.
They sure do.
So you wrote your book while you're like nursing your baby and doing all this stuff. And then after that, the whole time have you been doing YouTube as well? Or did you get back? When did you get back to YouTube?
Let's see. He was still an infant, but I can't, maybe 4 or 5 months old. I did a couple of videos that had nothing to do with fitness even. It was like a couple of joke videos because I thought they were so funny. Reading all these baby books to my son, and you're just reading a Dr. Seuss book and you're like, this is hilarious. Yeah. Like, it sounds like they're rapping or something. You talk about that, or you find things in baby books that you're like, how did I miss this as a kid? Or like, they're funny now. So I made a couple of videos called Baby Book Club where I pretty much just made fun of kid books.
So you missed it. Obviously, you missed YouTube. So
yeah, I missed the creative outlet. And so I did a couple kind of nonsense videos that I just enjoyed doing. And did that. And then I just was starting to get into my rhythm of how to take care of all of life's duties plus a baby to some degree. So I started doing a lot of like cleaning and organizational videos because I love those topics. And
come do it for me.
I would love to. Oh my gosh. But that's sort of what the Fit Style name involves too. I mean, yes, it's mainly personal training, but the style part, it all started because of a hairstyle, but lifestyle too. I mean, I love anything like that. And, so I enjoyed doing that. But yeah, he was probably about 4 or 5 months old when that first video postpartum happened.
So you weren't doing workouts though anymore online?
No, not on the YouTube. But just kind of saved those for the training. But then in December, so then he's about 5 or 6 months old at this point, I did older than that. We did a workout plan. So just a click and buy, because once I wrote the cookbook, I was like, wow, when you're a mom, it's really nice to have options where you can just click and buy things. Yes. And so I did a click and buy workout plan too, just for anyone who wants a different route besides the personal training. Cool. That was at least an option.
Yeah, it is really nice to have that option completely. I think the next thing you should do is a baby food cookbook.
I would love to. I did so much baby food cooking and I really, really enjoyed it. I thought that it would be completely overwhelming, but I loved it. I would just kind of do whatever we were eating for dinner, but puree it. And I loved it.
And then you could go into toddler cookbooks and all the picky eater cookbooks.
Yeah, well, I've got one right now. He goes through phases. You know how it is. Yes. They love me one day and they don't the next.
Yes, and yes. So I have one that won't eat chicken or beef or pork except for bacon. He'll eat bacon and he'll eat sausage, but he will eat sushi, salmon, crawfish like crazy, and all shellfish. He'll even eat octopus and squid and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, that's Luke, my oldest one. And now my middle one is more, he's kind of going through a picky stage right now where he doesn't want a whole lot of anything. He wants a lot of carbohydrates. Like, he'll eat bread and butter all day long, but try to get this kid to eat. Even chicken nuggets is hard for him to like get down.
Right.
That's Austin. And then my little guy, I swear that kid survives on yogurt alone. But
Henry could too. It's nuts. And that was actually hard. He just started being able to eat yogurt. He had a dairy and soy intolerance.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wow.
But they grow out of it most of the time.
Yeah,
so
he did.
Hopefully,
it was good. It was good. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So right now it's just, we've got 5 people in the house and I'm making 4 different dinners and it's driving me crazy. So, that's changing. So I'm making like all the same sides and then I have some like boiled shrimp already cooked that I can pull out for Luke anytime. And then the other guy, I'm just like, just please eat something. And I've even started mixing some like collagen in with my mac and cheese so he can get some protein. And
That's smart.
And then my little guy, I can get him to eat stuff if I pretend like it's my food and I'm going to eat it that he can't. He's 4, so this is so fun for him to like try to eat mom's food. But yeah, it's all figuring out what works for each of them. It's really not, it's really interesting and at the same time really frustrating. So yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you'll get to go through all of that. So, yeah, and it changes so frequently. But because my main topic has been in the past couple of episodes about balance being a dirty word and it not really existing, have you found that to be true for you or?
Yes, it's not real.
Okay, good. And did you have mom guilt around it, like feeling, or any kind of guilt around like feeling like you were supposed to be able to do everything and you're not really capable of doing it?
Yes, absolutely. Especially because my expectations were so warped when he was born, thinking that I could like just not take a maternity leave or anything like that. I totally had mom guilt about it. And I think that, I mean, for one thing, we live in the age of social media. So you see people doing this or that, and it looks like they're getting everything done, and they're really not. And even though we didn't grow up in those days, I still think of like, oh, my mom was such a boss, for example, and like it should be easy. What I didn't realize is like, of course it was hard. She just didn't tell us.
Or she had a lot of help.
Yeah. Well, my dad stayed home with us. So, I mean, we had a parent at home, we had school, we had friends, it just, the parents aren't burdening you with how it's hard to raise kids. Like, of course not. So
you didn't even know until you actually had it.
Yeah. Until I had one. And I would say that he's an easy baby. And everyone told me how easy he was. And I was like, wait, should I not feel like it's hard? Is it okay to feel like it's hard then? So,
it's absolutely okay.
Balance is absolutely false. I mean, there are some days where everything feels balanced and like you feel like you totally rocked dinner and work and you played with your kid and you got to watch a movie and drink wine with your husband.
And he goes to sleep on time with no fussing and everything's working.
Yes. Right. Things go well. But then, the next day could be the complete opposite. And then I just had to learn that that's okay. So in terms of like getting it all done, it's like, you don't get it all done. Mm-hmm. It's if you get some things done, it means other areas will likely sacrifice. Like I go to bed late or wake up too early or whatever the case may be.
And that's where I feel a lot of moms suffer with the even self-care and just not paying attention because they're so busy taking care of other people, kids, babies, husbands, whatever, and trying to work and trying to do it all that they forget to drink water or they don't realize how crucial sleep is to their productivity levels and to just their brain and weight gain and all of this stuff. And they don't eat properly. So I want to dispel that myth that you can get it all done, that people are getting it all done. No, they're not. Everybody has, if you give your attention to one area, that means a whole nother area isn't getting that attention. So if you want to hire it out, that's fine. Do it. If you want to hire out the house because it is not your favorite thing, it is not my favorite thing. I have a housekeeper. If I could have her come every single day, I would. And that's probably my goal. It is probably to get somebody an hour or 2 hours every single day, Monday through Friday, just to come in and tidy up the house while I'm at the gym. And I come home to a perfectly clean house where my productivity and creativity can soar. So.
Yep. It's funny you mentioned that because when I wrote the cookbook, I had a housekeeper for that month or two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And it was incredible. I mean, that was very hard for me to do. Like very hard for me because I do really enjoy cleaning, organizing, and everything like that. And it gives me this sense of satisfaction. And then to let that part go and give it to somebody else, that was difficult.
I get it.
Yeah.
It was really hard for me because, my mom cleaned houses growing up when I was little, and I remembered her cleaning these houses of these people, and I always felt bad for her, and I vowed I would never have someone clean my own house, that I could do it myself. And then I had to really come to grips with that once I had my second kid and I was trying to clean my house. It was a disaster. I already had a little boy. I had a business, and here I am having a second kid, and my husband travels all the time.
Yeah.
So it's not realistic for me to think I can do. Yeah, something's got to give. And it may as well be the stuff I hate, like laundry and house cleaning. And it's not that I hate it. I like it when it's done. It just feels like I can be doing a million other things instead of that.
Exactly.
Same thing with grocery shopping. I actually enjoy grocery shopping, but I Instacart and shipped almost every single thing that comes to my house because it takes so much time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's just easier for me to click buttons and have it delivered while either A, I'm spending time with my kids, B, I'm doing a podcast or doing something for work or onboarding a new client, or C, maybe I'm doing nothing. Maybe I'm chilling out for once, sitting on the couch.
Which is needed. It's needed. I remember shortly after he was born, it's just like I hadn't done a single thing for me yet, you know, like in a week, a very sleep-deprived week because it's the first week of motherhood. And I just remember my mom came to town and we put Henry to sleep. And then the three of us just sat down on the couch to watch Saturday Night Live. And I almost cried. I was like, this is so nice.
Yes. It's like, finally, there's not a baby touching me. Nobody's touching me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
It's so funny.
Yeah. So, I mean, I want you moms to understand that balance doesn't exist for me. It doesn't exist for Sarah. And I don't think it exists for anybody else unless you wanted to hire out every single aspect of your life, have a personal chef, have a personal trainer come to you and make you work out, have a bunch of VAs running all the behind the scenes of your business, and you just show up for the highlights. That maybe. But it's still so far-fetched. I just don't believe it's real. So thank you for validating that with me, Sarah.
I'll tell anyone.
I appreciate it. Okay, so now this next part is we're wrapping it up, and I'm going to start doing these little rapid-fire questions for my guests because I think it's so cool to get to know you a little bit more on the not entrepreneur side. So question number 1. Ready? What is your biggest guilty pleasure?
Cinnamon ice cream.
Cinnamon ice cream. Ooh, what brand?
So delicious. It's a dairy-free one.
Oh, yeah.
But I only like the cookie parts. Well, I like it all, but I eat it for the cookie part, which is why it's so guilty because I buy $4 ice cream to eat the little tiny cookie parts of it.
I was like, it's dairy-free, and you're still saying. Okay. Yeah. What is your favorite? You're a boy mom, so what is your favorite superhero?
Ooh, Superman. Because the actor who plays him is actually named Henry.
Oh. I didn't even know that. Yep. That's hilarious. Okay. Then my next one is your number one productivity tool of all time for work or for home, whatever.
For both.
Okay. For
all things in my life, the number one thing for me is the notes section of my phone.
Yes, I get that.
And using the checklist features in it and the sharing feature of it, which I didn't even know that you could share the notes until after Henry was born. But I think that's the reason we survived.
I agree. I love it. We use the notes for everything. My husband uses it a lot more than me, but we even you can lock notes that you have to put a passcode in for, or you have to have your fingerprint. So we have a shared note on our file that has like all of our passport numbers, social security numbers, and everything. So those are things we get, especially with school age kids. You get that question more often than you would think. Like, or I need my husband's social security, or mother-in-law's date of birth, or passport numbers, because we travel a lot. So they have a locked section, so you can lock it so nobody else can get that info, but you can share it.
That's cool. I didn't know that. We use a different app for that, but I didn't know you could do that in Notes.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite app. I'm so surprised.
You can do it in Notes, so it's pretty cool. But that's one of my favorites, too, so I'm glad you like it. All right. Thank you so much for being on the show with us today.
Thank you.
Again, don't forget, guys, you can find Sarah at fitstyled.com, and you can also check her out on YouTube if you want, and she's everywhere on social media, too, at fitstyled. So check Sarah out, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye. I really hope that you're loving this podcast as much as I am. If you are, please, please, please leave a raving review on iTunes so more moms can find us. Easiest way to get there, mommyshomeoffice.com/iTunes. And just one last thing. Mom, you've got this. Now go kick some ass.